Have you ever walked through your house passing the extra guest room, the dusty third bathroom, or that cold basement you haven't set foot in for months and wondered, why am I still looking after all this space? You're not alone. For many of us, the home we raised our children in feels like a chapter that still matters. But more and more, it becomes a museum of memories instead of a place that truly supports our lifestyle today. The stairs creak louder, the corners gather clutter, and while the love inside is still warm, the space around us can slowly start feeling too big for the life we're now living. Downsizing, just the word, can bring up mixed emotions. Some feel excited at the thought of simplicity. Others worry about letting go. But what if I told you that letting go doesn't mean losing your freedom? It might mean gaining more of it. In this video, we're going to explore something deeply important: why downsizing after 65 isn't a step backward. It's a powerful step toward living better, feeling lighter, and focusing on what really matters. You'll discover how fewer rooms can mean more joy, how smaller spaces can open bigger doors for freedom, and how the right move at the right time can bring more energy, security, and peace into your life than you ever imagined. And if you're watching this with a curious heart, maybe just wondering if it's time, stay with me. These next few minutes could gently nudge you toward one of the wisest decisions you'll ever make. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and tap that little bell so you never miss out on the life-changing, soul-lifting, truly practical health and lifestyle advice we share here every week. Thank you for being part of this community. Your presence, your comments, and your support mean more than you know. And if this message resonates with you, please like and share the video. It might be the spark someone else needs. We'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What topics do you need help with? What are you going through right now that we can talk about together? Let's begin with something most people don't realize until they finally take the leap. When you downsize your home, you often upsize your peace of mind. Imagine waking up in a space that feels perfectly made for your current lifestyle. Not too much to clean, not too much to manage, just the right amount of comfort and calm. No more worrying about fixing the roof or shoveling snow off the driveway. Instead of maintaining a house, you get to enjoy your life. You may find that with fewer responsibilities, your days begin to open up. Like windows on a breezy spring morning, more time to sip your tea slowly, to walk without rushing, to finally say yes to that art class or lunch date you've been putting off. A smaller space isn't a limitation, it's an invitation to live fully with fewer distractions and more clarity. And then there's the financial freedom. Selling a larger home can open a door to resources you didn't realize were trapped in bricks and beams. Money you can use for travel, hobbies, experiences, or just knowing you have a cushion that gives you real peace of mind when every dollar goes further because your home is easier to manage. You're not cutting back, you're making room. To move forward, now that we've touched on the peace and freedom downsizing can bring, let's take a closer look at something else many of us silently crave: clarity. Not just the kind you find on a freshly cleaned window pane, but the inner kind of clarity that comes from being surrounded only by what you love and use, not what you've been storing for someday. Let's be honest, over the decades, we collect things. Holiday decorations that haven't seen daylight in 5 years. Closets filled with clothes from old jobs or long past phases of life. Entire rooms that quietly turn into storage units for everything we were too sentimental or too tired to sort through. And the truth is, all that stuff takes up more than just physical space. It can weigh on your heart, on your mind, even on your sleep. Downsizing gives you a unique chance to reset. Not just where you live, but how you live. It nudges you to ask questions like, do I really need this? Does this serve me now? And often the answers surprise you. You'll find joy in simplicity. There's something deeply peaceful about opening a drawer and knowing exactly what's inside, about walking through your home and feeling ease, instead of overwhelm. One woman in our community told me that after she downsized, her morning routine changed entirely. She said, I used to shuffle through a dozen mugs just to find the one I actually liked. Now I open my cabinet and smile, because the only things left are the ones I use every single day. That's what downsizing does. It clears the noise, so the music of your life can come through. But clarity doesn't just show up in cabinets and closets. It shows up emotionally too. Many people find that once they move into a space that fits, Their needs now, who they were 30 years ago, they finally begin to breathe more deeply. It's like shedding a layer that no longer fits, and realizing you can move more freely, think more clearly, feel more present. The past is still with you, but it no longer surrounds you in every direction. Matters, especially after 65 safety. Larger homes often come with more stairs, more dark corners, more tricky areas to clean or maintain. Downsizing can mean trading those hazards for flat floors, wider hallways, and smarter design. You may not think about it daily, but preventing one slip or fall can save months of pain and recovery. That's not just convenience, that's health. That's freedom in its truest form. So far, we've touched on peace of mind, financial freedom, emotional clarity, and physical safety. And the beauty is, these don't come from a big dramatic change overnight. They begin the moment you ask yourself, what do I truly need for the life I want now? Downsizing doesn't mean letting go of who you are. It means making space for who you're becoming. And that journey, it can be one of the most empowering choices you make, especially now, when every year ahead deserves to be lighter, freer, and more deeply fulfilling. Let's keep going, because there's still more to uncover when it comes to how downsizing can transform your daily life into something even more beautiful. And it starts right here with time. Because once you've created a living space that truly fits your needs, something remarkable happens. Your time begins to expand. You see, large homes can feel like they demand your attention. There's always something to clean, fix, check on, or manage. The leaky tap you haven't gotten around to, the spare room gathering dust. The gutters that need clearing. Each of these little things adds up, and whether or not you realize it, they chip away at your energy. But when you move into a home that's right-sized for this chapter of life, your to-do list shrinks, and your free time grows. Suddenly, your weekends don't have to be about chores. Your mornings don't start with a groan about vacuuming the guest room no one uses. Your afternoons aren't tied up figuring out how to organize a house that's simply too big. Instead, you gain moments to walk, to talk, to sip tea, and hear the birds outside your window. Not the clunk of an old water heater kicking on, and it's not just time you gain, it's mental space. When your environment is simplified, so is your thinking. You're not juggling a dozen house tasks in the back of your mind anymore. You begin to notice things you hadn't in years. Sunset through the kitchen window, the way your favorite chair hugs your back just right. You're no longer distracted by clutter or overwhelmed by upkeep. You're grounded in the now. Some people worry that downsizing might make them feel small, like they've stepped backward. But I'll tell you something. I've heard again and again from seniors who've made the leap. This space makes me feel bigger, not smaller. That's because it's not about the square footage, it's about alignment. When your space fits your life instead of forcing your life to fit your space, you feel centered. And here's something especially powerful for those of us over 65. Connection. Downsizing often means moving closer to the people who matter: your children, your friends, your grandkids. Maybe that big house made sense when you were raising a family or when work kept you tethered to a certain location. But now this is your season to choose closeness, to live 10 minutes from the ones who make you laugh, to host Sunday brunch without it feeling like a marathon, to pop in for birthdays, soccer games, or just a cup of coffee without an hour of driving each way. Proximity isn't just a practical benefit, it's a joyful one. We're wired for connection. And every study on healthy aging tells us the same thing. People who stay socially engaged live longer, happier lives. So downsizing, it's not just about less stuff, it's about more life. And before we wrap up, there's one more gift downsizing can give you: a sense of control in a world that sometimes feels unpredictable, especially as we age. Making an empowered decision about where and how you live can be a deeply grounding act. You're not waiting for someone else to make the call. You're not putting it off until a health issue or a crisis forces your hand. You're taking charge now, while it's still a choice, not a necessity. That kind of proactive courage. It's a gift to your future self and to your family. Because when you decide to downsize on your terms, you're also making things easier for your loved ones down the line. You're clearing the path, making space not just for yourself, but for the relationships and memories still to come. That's what this is really about. Creating a space where you can live more freely, love more fully, and focus on what matters most. Not the mop, not the mortgage, but meaning. Here's to that new beginning, the one that doesn't look like less, but like so much more. So, what does life look like when you finally take that leap and downsize? It looks like mornings that begin in calm silence instead of with a long list of tasks. It looks like having just enough room to breathe, to stretch, to smile. Without the weight of unused space pressing in from every side, it looks like living in a place that feels like not a museum of the past. Not a burden for the future, but a sanctuary for today. For some, that might mean a cozy apartment near the heart of town, where everything's within walking distance, and neighbors say hello in the hallway. For others, it could be a charming little house with a garden out back, just big enough for tomatoes and basil, and a chair to watch the sun go down. For some, it's a move into a vibrant retirement community where the calendar is full of laughter, events, and people who understand your journey. There's no one-size-fits-all version of a right-sized life. That's the beauty of it. About making a decision that frees you, not one that confines you. And of course, it's not always easy. Letting go never is. You're not just leaving behind furniture or a floor plan, you're closing a chapter that may hold decades of memories. The doorframe where you marked your grandkids' height. The hallway echoing with old familiar voices. The cupboard where the holiday mugs have always lived. That's real. And grieving, that is okay. But here's something I promise you. You don't leave the memories behind. You take them with you. In your heart, your stories, your photos, your laughter, the people, the love, the life. They're not locked in a building. They're part of you. And once you release what no longer fits, you make room for what's next. That might be new friendships, less stress, a little more travel, a lot more ease, or just the simple joy of waking up in a home that supports who you are, you used to be. So if downsizing has been tugging at your heart, if part of you wonders whether life could be lighter, freer, and fuller with a change, let this be your gentle nudge, not a push. Just a warm reminder that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is choose a new beginning. If this video gave you something to think about, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you downsized? Are you thinking about it? What's your biggest fear or your greatest hope? You never know who your story might help. And if you found this message helpful, please tap the like button, share it with someone you care about. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. We've got more life-changing conversations coming your way because this chapter of life, it can be your best one yet. Here's to living with less clutter and more clarity, less space and more peace, less worry and more you. Take care, and as always, thank you for being part of this beautiful, wise community.